Meal planning doesn't have to be overwhelming. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how I plan a week's worth of meals, build my grocery list, shop efficiently, meal prep everything, and get my kids' lunches ready for the week.
Hi, I'm Julie from the Bradley Edit. I create digital planners for GoodNotes, and on this channel, I'll be sharing real budgeting sessions, digital planning tips, organizations, and the systems I use to keep our home and finances running smoothly as a full-time working mom.
The first thing I do every week is shop my pantry, fridge, and freezers before I buy anything. I want to know exactly what we already have. And fair warning, this isn't a Pinterest pantry, it's a real family's pantry that's actually used. Here's a look inside our cupboard. So we've got some canned goods up there. Then down here is my baking cupboard, some extra coffee, some baking things, pancake mix. And then this is our little makeshift pantry. It was a coat closet that I converted by utilizing this metal rack that was in our house when we bought it. It fit nicely in there. I keep my potatoes and onions. There's cat food. I always like to have instant mashed potatoes. And then there's lots of kid snacks here. And then I'm going to show you my little pantry that I made in the basement. So this is in our basement. We have two small freezers. Again, this is the shelf that was in our house when we bought it in 2012. I keep the overstock of kid snacks here. So you can see we have Nutella bars, some goldfish, gummy snacks. There's crackers, some cookies, chocolate bars, roll ups. So lots of lunch snacks. I always like to keep microwavable rice on hand with some pasta, some canned beans. Then down here are some dried beans, another box of pasta, applesauce, and my big bag of rice down there. There's some cereal. This is where we keep our extra flour. So we keep some food in here, some freezies. And then you can see this freezer is pretty full as well. So some meat-free options. I usually put meat on this side, meat-free options here. And then vegetables, fries. There's Eggos. After I've looked at what inventory I have on hand, I bring up my weekly meal plan template and I'll show you how my thought process as I go through this. So this is for the week of July 6th to the 12th. So I go through and I'm going to put breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I'll copy that down to each day. So I'm only going to go through Monday through Friday. My husband and I work Monday through Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, we just kind of make food, use whatever's on hand, eat the rest of the leftovers. Also, when it comes to breakfast, you're going to see what I'm going to eat for breakfast. My kids like a simple breakfast. I can barely get them to eat anything at all. My daughter enjoys waffles, and my son usually just wants toast with peanut butter or an English muffin or a bagel. And then they have at daycare or when they're going to school a snack pretty quickly in the morning. So I don't really push a large breakfast on them. So their breakfasts are usually pretty simple. And then, so what you're going to see on here is the breakfast that I plan for myself and how I meal prep those. All four of us take a homemade lunch 5 days a week. That's just how we do it in our family. And I'll show you my easy way that I meal prep everything for mix and match to keep the week running really smoothly. So for breakfast this week, I saw some mango, frozen mango in the freezer. So I think I'm going to make mango oatmeal. And I'm going to do that for 2 days. And then I have some Greek yogurt in the fridge. Yogurt and eggs for breakfast. All right. So lunches this week, I think I'm going to do rice bowls for everybody on Monday. And you're going to see that all four of us are going to take a different kind of rice bowl because everybody has different tastes. And so I'll show you how I easily do that when I get into my meal prep. So 4 kinds. And then the rest of the week, so I'm going to make rice bowls for hubby and I'll do a couple variations of them. So that's what we'll have for 4 days. Then on Friday, we're going to have leftovers. So whatever's left over from dinners for the week. Then my kids, I like to mix it up. So they'll take thermoses on Monday. Tuesday, kids will do sandwiches. Then on Wednesday, let's do cheese and crackers. Then on Thursday, we'll do sandwiches again. And then on Friday, I'm going to leave Friday open and kind of decide with what's left over from the week. So they might get leftovers as well. Now let's go through and do our dinners. So we have some potatoes. So I'm going to do baked potatoes. And I just put baked potatoes because that's the thing that's going to be the same for all four of us. It's all the other things that go with it that'll be different. So my daughter and I don't eat meat, but my son and my husband do. So the protein options that we have are usually different, but I try to make a couple options for each of us for the week. And then we'll mix and match vegetables with that. So baked potatoes, Tuesday, we'll do Taco Tuesday. And again, you'll see the variations. My daughter likes black bean and corn taco. I use vegan meat in my taco, and my husband and son will do ground beef. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have pasta. Then I think Thursday, we'll do breakfast. So hash browns, pancakes, eggs, maybe some bacon for the boys. And then Friday, we'll do pizza on Nan's. Okay, so now I'm going to look at what I need for groceries. So I like to keep a grocery list on my fridge for when I run out of things or things that I'm going to need to buy soon. I automatically put it on. Then I make my final grocery list now as I'm doing my meal plan for the week. So let's go through each item and see what I'm missing, what I have on hand. So the mango oatmeal, I have everything except for the milk on hand for that. So I need to get some soy milk. And then also for my breakfast, I out of creamer for my coffee. Then yogurt and eggs. I do need to get eggs, but I have the yogurt and the toppings for that. Then let's think about the rice bowls. So my husband, I'm gonna get that pre-cooked chicken. I have everything to make the seitan for mine, and I have black beans and corn for my daughters, and I have burger for my sons and the broccoli that he's gonna want in his. So that's all I need for the rice bowls, and I already have rice on hand. So now let's move on. And then sandwiches, I need bread. And I need Havarti cheese. That's my son's favorite. And I already have cheddar cheese that my daughter likes. Tacos, I have tortillas and cheese. I have sour cream, jalapenos. I have the burger for the inside. I have the black beans and corn. What I'm missing is lettuce to go on the tacos. Then cheese and crackers, I have that. Pasta, I have the pasta, the sauce. What I'm missing is the garlic bread. Then we have sandwiches again. My kids' sandwiches, I usually do seitan. So you'll see me when I make my seitan. So that's a meat alternative that I make homemade, and I usually make a batch every week. And I use it in my rice bowls, and then I slice it thin and put it on the kids' sandwiches. They like it. You can flavor it however you want. So it's a nice protein substitute. Then the breakfast for dinner, I have hash browns in the freezer. I'm buying eggs. I'm pretty sure I have bacon in there. If not, they'll be fine without it. And then I have pancake mix in the cupboard, so I don't need anything for that. And then on Friday, the Nan pizzas, I do need pepperoni. Pepperoni for the pizzas, but I have cheese and all the things, and I actually have the stuff to do like a Greek style pizza, which will be really good. Um, okay, so snacks you saw in when I showed you the pantry quickly. I have a ton of kid snacks, lunch snacks. Also in the freezer, I have homemade banana chocolate chip muffins and mini loaves. So they'll get a combo of different kinds of snacks. And then I pack my kids bento snacks. So in each snack has either a fruit or a vegetable and then some sort of snack. Sometimes it's quick convenience stuff, sometimes it's healthier. I mix and match and I try to keep them excited about eating their lunch. So I have lots of snacks. What I don't have is a lot of fruit. So I need to get fruit. I for sure know I want to buy apples and bananas. I love bananas on toast with peanut butter and honey. Delicious. And then I've been craving a pineapple. So I might just look when I'm at Costco and see what else looks good, what if there's anything on sale. Then two things that I have on my I'm out of but don't need quite yet. I always put these on because if there's a good deal on them, I'll buy them. But if not, it's not like a make or break. Like I don't need either of those for anything we're making. We still have ketchup on hand. It's just a small bottle, so I will need to get that soon. Then the other thing that my husband had mentioned to me was my son's been asking for hot dogs. And then we have lots of burgers, but we have no buns. So I think I'm gonna get burger and hot dog buns. Hot dog buns. And then I don't think I need any household things. We just bought cat food last week. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna move down to my meal prep plan. So we're gonna be doing, here. We're gonna be doing rice bowls. And we're going to have 10 of them. There's 8 for my husband, and then my kids are getting 2 on the Monday. So 10 rice bowls times 10. So my husband's going to get 4 times chicken rice bowls. And I'm going to do 2 times sweet chili, sweet Thai chili, and 2 times barbecue. Then I'm going to get 4 rice bowls, and I'm going to do 2 seitan with sweet Thai chili. And in these rice bowls, I do frozen vegetables. So I buy the frozen grilled vegetable mix, and so I'll show that how I prep these rice bowls for our lunches. 2 times tofu and veg. So I have some tofu and vegetables cooked in the fridge. Um, I had some vegetables left from a veggie tray that were going to be going bad, so I stir fried them up with tofu and vegetable stock, and kind of thickened it up with a little cornstarch, and it's almost like a tofu stew kind of thing. I put a little hot sauce on there. It's delish. So then my son is going to want, so on Monday they're getting their rice bowls too. So he's going to want a burger and broccoli. Steamed broccoli is his favorite. And then my daughter loves black beans and corn. Beans and corn, which is good because I'll rinse the beans and corn, and then we'll be able to use those with our tacos on Tuesday. Then I'm also going to prep, I like to prep ahead of time my mango oatmeal. So I'll prep the actual oatmeal mix and then the topping that I put on top with brown sugar and flaxseed and pumpkin seeds. So mango oatmeal times 2. Then my yogurts, I like to top it a little bit of Harvest Crunch cereal and pumpkin seeds. So I'll put together the toppings. The yogurt that I have are just little yogurt cups. And then I need to make some seitan. The hardest part about making seitan is the steaming part. You have to steam it for an hour. And then I'll fry up some taco meat. So we're going to do 3 kinds. So my husband and son both eat ground beef, but my son would not like to have taco seasoning on his. My daughter, for her tacos, she'll do black beans and corn. And then for me, I do the Gardein veggie ground with taco seasoning. So that's the 3 kinds. Then I also need to make baked potatoes. So this is everything I'm going to do on Sunday. Baked potatoes. Then I'm going to do a little mini Tuesday night meal prep. And that's going to be to make the pasta and the eggs. The eggs for my breakfast. So I like to do, I find I used to do egg cups, but then I hated cleaning the muffin tins. So what I started doing was making omelets and then cut it into 3 portions. So I'm going to make that Tuesday night. And then the pasta, I will boil the pasta and get it made and put in the fridge so it's heat and eat. I like to heat and eat our meals when we get home, because we don't get off work till 4:30, which means we're not home till 5:30 by the time we pick the kids up at daycare. And the last thing my kids want to do is wait 30 minutes to an hour to eat. So heat and eat is my motto during the week. We keep it real simple around here. So, but I find if I prepare on Sunday and I do things that are easy like this, I have the lunches thought out and prepared. Dinners are a lot easier just to assemble. So now I'm going to go to the grocery store. I usually do my meal plan on Saturday evening or early Sunday morning, because I like to go grocery shopping first thing Sunday morning if I can. I like to be right at Costco when it opens. I shop every single week. Typically, I'll show you everything I get and what I spend on groceries this week, and then how I do our family's meal prep for the week. Here's our grocery shop for this week. The total came to $156, and I'm super happy that I was able to stick mostly to the list. And the only two exceptions to that were the ice cream and the chips. The ice cream is to keep us from making expensive ice cream runs, and the chips are to take to a birthday party we've been invited to. Let's get started with the meal prep. I'm going to start by making my seitan because it takes an hour to steam. So in a bowl, I have a mixture of gluten flour, chickpea flour, nutritional yeast, salt, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. I'll put the recipe in the description below. So I mix that all together in a bowl. Then I add in water and a little bit of oil, and you mix it until it turns into a dough. Once it turns into a dough, make sure all the flour and the dry ingredients are incorporated. Then we're going to get a steamer basket ready. So you put the steamer basket on, and then I spray it with a little bit of cooking spray. Then I'm going to form my dough into 4 patties and place those patties into the steamer basket. And I like to leave them just on a single layer because the seitan is going to expand as it cooks. Then we're going to put the lid on and set a timer for 30 minutes. Next up, I'm going to get my baked potatoes in the oven. So I washed and dried these potatoes. Now I'm brushing them with a little bit of oil. Then I'll sprinkle some salt and put in the oven at 400 degrees for 1 hour to bake. While the seitan and potatoes are cooking, I prepare the 3 types of taco meat. Next up is the oatmeal. So I made my 2 mango oatmeals. And then I'm going to make the toppings for the oatmeal and my yogurt bowls. So here are the toppings for my oatmeal and my 3 yogurts for the week. After 30 minutes, it's time to flip the seitan. So I use tongs and flip over the pieces. And then we're also going to check and ensure there's enough water before letting these steam for another 30 minutes. The last thing you want to do is let your pot run dry of water. A little tip I have is to boil your water in the kettle so it's already hot when you pour it in, and that way your pot will just keep on steaming. So you can see I check for if there's enough water. There's lots of water in there. So now we're going to cover that back up and continue steaming for another 30 minutes. Next up, we're going to get started on the 10 rice bowls. So I used a rice cooker to cook the rice, then distributed the rice between the 10 containers. Now I'm adding in these fire roasted frozen vegetables and this pre-cooked chicken into my husband's 4 rice bowls. I use scissors just to cut them up into bite-sized pieces. I also added into 2 of mine the tofu and vegetable mix that I had, and then I went ahead and added 1 teaspoon of butter to each of the bowls. So now you can see there's my kids' bowls, black beans and corn, burger and broccoli, my 2 sweet Thai chili, my 2 tofu, my husband's 2 sweet Thai chili, and my husband's 2 barbecue chicken bowls. Here's a look at the completed meal prep. This took an hour and a half to do, and everything that we did today is just going to make my week go so much smoother between easier lunch prep to easier dinners. It's going to be a good week. Here's my kids' lunch on Monday. So there's those thermoses that we'd prepared the day before, as well as their little bento snacks. This is Wednesday's lunch, so cheese and crackers. And again, their little bento snacks with their fruit. This is Thursday lunch. We did a sandwich and some apples. And then this was Friday. I hope this gave you some meal planning inspiration for the week ahead. If you'd like to support the channel, check out my digital planners and my Etsy shop, the Bradley Edit link below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.